All right, this is be a response to XOmniverse. You know, the arguments XOmniverse that you're dealing with are not arguments that I make. They're not arguments that really anyone I know makes. I don't know anyone who does what you're doing. Like, you're talking about race. Well, what is like race? What is a black person? Like, well, calling someone a black person is just a slang term. I mean, it's not. It's not an absolute type. It's not some sort of scientific categorization. It's just like a super subjective. That's a black person. That's a pond. You know, that's a puddle. That's a puddle. That's a lake. That's a hill. That's a mountain. Okay, it's not. It's not a type. It's not something that you can analyze epistemologically, and that's what you're trying to do here. And it's not. And so I just want to let people know that this is not anything I'm putting forward, and this is not anything I'm dealing with. And what XOmniverse is doing in this video is he's making it sound like he's tearing down my arguments. No, he's not tearing down my arguments. He's tearing down his own arguments. He's making stuff up. I don't know if he's making this up or if he's just like parroting what he's heard at like the left libertarian, you know, whatever. It sounds to me like he's just literally just regurgitating what Brain Police is saying on this matter, and he's tearing down those arguments. So no, and then he's going, and at the very beginning of the video, saying like, this is the last thing I want to say on this topic, as if he's been dragged into this. No. As of me posting this video right now, you've made 3 videos and I've made 1. So you've come forward positively, chose to make videos on this topic with no provocation from anyone. Okay, you chose to do this. You did. You chose to do this. It was you. Right? This is not your choice. You're not being dragged into this. Okay, so like, stop. Get off your high horse. Stop putting on this show that you're. Anyway. But then you talk about like neurological, like brain hemisphere dominance correlating with various political preferences. Yeah, that's what I said. I was talking in terms of tendencies, right? That's the language of the statistical social sciences, right? You're just dealing in tendencies. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to say, well, you can't take someone's brain hemisphere dominance and ascribe to them a certain political belief. No, you can't. Okay, and this is like a pattern what you're doing. Like you're saying, well, you can't take someone of any, you know, genetic aggregate and say this person has this or that intelligence. And fine, if you want to not think race, fine. I mean, it's like a race does not exist. Like, race does not exist. Okay, it's just like there's genetic variation, and you can kind of sort of categorize it if you want. All right, that's all it is. There's no typology. Okay, and there's no and the same thing is true with the brain hemisphere dominance thing. It's just a tendency. It's not a type. And you want to come in here and say it's pop psychology? No. Those correlations actually exist. So like, what would it have to be to not be pop psychology? I mean, they've come up with theories as to why this is. They say, well, the dopamine works a little bit differently than norepinephrine or something like that. But to just write this off and say it's pop psychology, that's just your. Anyway. But what you're trying to do, but what you're doing here is absurd, you know. And I don't know shit about epistemology, right? And listening to people arguing from epistemological, what is your epistemology? I don't really want to learn about epistemology, right? You know, it's kind of like, you know, I kind of forced myself to learn a little bit about objectivism, you know, just because everyone else knew about objectivism, and I figured it was kind of incumbent upon me to learn about objectivism, so I learned a little bit about egoism. But like if you want to get into, like, everything is an abstraction. Like, you can go down forever. You can go down to the cellular level. You can go down to the atomic level. If you want to get into some epistemological truth, then all you can do is deal in the cosmic foam. Like, you want to say race is an invalid epistemological construct. On what grounds? It's just totally arbitrary. It's totally arbitrary to say that, like, why? Because it's subjective? Well, everything is subjective. I mean, the only objective thing that objectively exists is the indivisible particle, whatever that is. I mean, obviously not an atom, obviously not a proton, neutron, electron, or the quarks, you know, the up, down, sideways, inside out ways quarks. Okay, it's not any of those. It's not. So you're going to have to go down to the cosmic foam if you want to get to anything true, anything absolute. And so if you want to say that the idea of race is an unworkable concept, fine, that's one thing. But what you're doing, but to say that it's unworkable because it's subjective, because there's no truly such thing as a black person. I mean, there's no such thing as a human. It's just a collection of cells. There's no such thing as a cells. So to make that argument from fuzziness, like that's the continuum fallacy, all right? And it's just, and I thought you were above this, but apparently not. Apparently not. And I don't know. I wish this didn't happen because I liked you a lot, XOmniverse. I really liked, you know, your open-mindedness and how, you know, I would make video and how I made a video. Like, I made a video response to you entitled XOmniverse's Model, and you responded to it very politely. And I felt like kind of a dick after making that video. So, you know, and I didn't like... But, you know, it just race. It's race. I mean, race just makes people go fucking insane. I mean, they just have these, you know, 12-year... It's the education camps, you know. It's the mythology of the oppression and the civil rights and all that stuff. And I can, you know, Brain Police is going to come in here and say, no, you're just parroting what you learned at the... No, this is not just the Mises Institute, you know. I know you're all about... I know, like, Brain Police, it's like you're all about, you know... Some people are for Smash the State. Brain Police, you're for Smash the Mises Institute. But, no, like... So... Anyway, XOmniverse... I don't want to be in opposition to you, okay? Like, because I know you're a smart guy, and I know you can have insights on lots of things, all right? And I didn't want to be in opposition to Brain Police, all right? But Brain Police is just freaking nuts. I mean, he just is, you know. I mean, you know, you see people making video after video, you know, bashing the state. Like when people talk about, hey, I'm interested in this anarchy thing. Have you heard of this guy? Yeah, this Confederal Socialist guy. Yeah, very interesting videos. All right. Meanwhile, Brain Police is making videos about, oh, the threat of conservatarianism. Oh heavens, you know, this minority that can, like, I mean, he's harping on this like spoiler within the Republican Party, nonsensical nonsense. But anyway, this is kind of a ramble tangent. Okay, the point of this video, the ideas XOmniverse was attacking were not my position, so don't be thinking that those are my positions. Those are not the positions I hold. XOmniverse makes it seem like those are the positions I hold. They're not the positions I hold. XOmniverse is strawmanning me. XOmniverse is collapsing the wave function. He's trying to make, you know, he's trying to collapse tendencies. I'm making tendency arguments. He's making epistemological arguments. That's what this is about, and that's why there's so much angst on this subject matter. That's all I wanted to say. Largely because I just don't want people thinking that I hold positions that I don't hold. And also, like, basically anything Brain Police says about me, you know, you can throw that away.